Okay, if you failed selling your course, this video is made for you because I can almost guarantee you it was not a lack of money, bad advertising, poor course content. 99 times out of 100, when someone sells a course, here's what I see. They lacked to carve out a new product category. This is so critical to succeeding when you're selling a course. Let me give you an example. In the book, Play Bigger, which documents some of the biggest, most successful new category kings. In other words, companies that created brand new categories, and as a result, they dominated the market. They talk about how important it is to create a whole new market. Like, you are not trying to find a market and go enter that market, because why would someone buy your course when you already have other competitors? They have more, they've already been there for a while, they have reviews, they have more legitimacy. Why would someone take a chance on you? Unless you were offering them something not different, but new. Let me give you an example. Some of you remember the day when we had flip phones. You literally hold the phone, you flip it, you make a call, tiny little screen, very limited. Maybe you could play a game like a pixel-like game on it, but that was about it. And then Steve Jobs came out with a brand new category. And notice he didn't call it a better flip phone, and he didn't enter the flip phone competition, which means he would have been crushed. What he did is he created a new category called smartphone. And not only was it a new category, but the name was intuitive. Instead of just saying, hey, here's a better phone, it's smart, which immediately communicates, well, it's really good. Like, what is it? What's smart about it? Making it very superior to the old flip phone concept. What makes this even more interesting is Corning Glass, which has been around for like over 100 years. Amazing company. They've been creating and manufacturing glass, and they have an entire R&D department devoted to constantly creating new kinds of glass that doesn't break as easily, that bends more easily, that's more flexible. They came out with a whole new category of glass called, you ready for it? Gorilla Glass. Now, it sounds kind of ridiculous. What does a gorilla have to do with a smartphone? But because it was called Gorilla Glass, it made it sound unique, strong, less breakable, which was all true. And they made a deal with Steve Jobs where the first iPhones, the first phones they came out with, were using this Gorilla Glass. So not only did you have a new technology of glass, again, with a name that implies it's new, it's special, it's strong, but a brand new kind of phone. Not a better one, but a new one. And as a result, they crushed that category and made billions. Let me give you a closer example. If you sold a course before or tried to sell a course, think about Russell Brunson when he came out with ClickFunnels. He had to try 6 times before he successfully was able to sell it. I mean, imagine launching your product time 1, time 2, time 3, time 4, times 5, and you don't make money until the 6th time you launch it. How did he do it? It had a lot to do with the name. If you think about it, ClickFunnels is simply a website builder. And website builders have been around since the 90s. If you want to be a little more specific, it is a landing page builder. And landing pages have been around for decades now. So why would someone be excited about a new, or I should say a better website builder or a better landing page builder? Because if you do that, people are going to compare the new one to the old one. And now it becomes about who has the better features, which is not the space you want to be in. Instead, you want to create a whole new market. Call it something that illustrates something new. And in this case, he called it something very intuitive, ClickFunnels. You click, and there's a funnel to guide your prospect into buying your product. It was a brand new category. Yet at the same time, if you're honest with yourself, you realize it's just a new kind of website builder, a new landing page builder. That's all it is. But because he coined it as ClickFunnels, it made it a new product category. And that is why he crushed it and made a ton of money selling that software. Now, how does this apply to your course? Imagine that you were selling a training on how to train dogs. Super generic, nothing new about that. I mean, you were literally putting out a generic training. Maybe you're going to get $100 per course, maybe $200-300, but not much. So instead, you say, okay, I need to create a new category. How do you do it? First of all, ask, who are your clients? My clients aren't just going to be anybody. They're going to be new homeowners. Okay, got it. Boom. I teach new homeowners how to train their dogs. But we got to be more specific. What about your method? Okay, I teach new homeowners how to train golden retrievers. Now it's starting to get more new because you're not just another person out there doing dog training, you're being more specific. And you could even get down to the method you use, not just the clients whom you serve or the kinds of dogs that they want to train. You could do something like, I teach new homeowners how to train golden retrievers using 7 different hand signals. That's new. Now, yeah, you're still training dogs, but it's new because it's a new method. It makes people go, wait, what is that? And it's so much easier to sell something new than to sell something better. And the reason for that is when you sell something better, if someone tried already, like let's say they're trying to lose weight and you just sold something that's better, like, oh, we have a better version of getting shredded and losing belly and thigh fat. They feel like a failure. They're like, wait, I failed last time. I didn't do well. If his is just better, I'm probably going to fail again. But if it's new, they're going to think, oh, it's new. The reason I haven't succeeded is because I've been using something that doesn't work. And if it's new, well, it must work. You see that? I want to illustrate this way. Let's just imagine you sell a course called this, How to Sell. You could probably charge $49 for that course. It's way too broad. It is not a new market. Okay, so you sell a course called How to Sell Software. Better. You might be able to charge $490 for that course. Wait, let's get more specific. We want a new market. We want blue ocean strategy here. Okay, we're going to sell a course called How to Sell Software for Enterprise Companies. And now you can charge $1,000. Okay, even better. But what if you sell a course on how to sell HR software to corporations? Okay, now you can charge $4,900. The beauty of the blue ocean strategy of creating a new category, which is a hyper niche, is because you are so narrowed down and so specific. When someone sees what you have to offer, they go, that's me. What you're offering is exactly what I need. I've never seen anyone offer training specifically showing me how to sell my HR software to corporations. I would pay a lot of money for that. See? But if it was just how to sell, it's like, okay, cool. Sell cars, sell houses, sell courses, sell supplements. Like it's too generic. We already know how to sell. Why would we need this? But when you narrow it down specifically, that's where your marketing becomes effective. If you try to be all things to all people, in this context, you don't want to follow Apostle Paul's advice because he's talking about something very different. He's talking about sharing the gospel, right? Being all things to all people, not allowing a personal obstacle to get in the way from someone hearing the truth about Jesus. You cannot be all things to all people when running a business. Same reason when he sold tents, he would make sense. He was a tent, he would make sense. He would make tents. He was a tent builder. Who did he sell it to? People who need tents. And in the same way, you got to be specific because if you try to be all things to all people when selling a product, when you try to market to everyone, you end up marketing to no one. The way I met my wife was so interesting. She was not the kind of woman that would just hand out her number to some guy showing her interest. And because I knew this already, she was introduced to me through her best friend or one of her friends and my best friend. He told me she could sing really well. And so the way I got her number is I was very specific. At that time, I was hosting a talk radio show. And part of the show is we bring in talent spotlights, maybe a jazz piano player, a saxophone player, someone who could sing really well, someone who could just tear it up doing freestyle beatbox and rap. And because I knew she could sing well, I said, hey, I tell you what, since you have a really good voice, according to my friend, how about I get your phone number and you can sing on my show sometime? And I'll never forget my friend. He's like, yeah, this is how Seth gets girls' phone numbers. And she looked at me and she's like, okay. And she gave me her phone number. Now, if I just said, can I get your phone number? Or I'm interested in you, or I think you're really beautiful, would it have worked? No, she wouldn't have. She was very guarded. She's very protected. But because I had some specific practical thing related to her voice, related to what I did, it made it a more natural match. And 27 years later, with 4 adult children, we are still in love and married by the grace of God. The more specific you are with whatever course topic you are selling, the better it will market for itself. Really quick, one more thing I want to share with you. When I figured out finally exactly what my showstopper is, the specific category that I would serve, which has been a faith, within it was like 2.5 weeks, I got 20 applications on our website without doing any marketing. Not content marketing, not ads, no funnel, nothing. I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things. Of course you want to if you scale, and that's what we teach in our training. But I'm telling you, just by narrowing down the niche, it began to market itself because men would go, oh, I'm a man of faith. You teach men of faith. I am drawn to that. Tell me how you do it. And the rest is history. If you like this content, click the link below and I'll send you content every day. It's called Craftsman Spark.